You know that moment when life feels too heavy, when your chest tightens, your mind goes blank and you can't move forward no matter how much you tell yourself to? You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're frozen. The freeze response is one of the most misunderstood reactions in human psychology, yet it silently runs through millions of lives every single day. It's the quiet sibling of fight or flight, not loud, not dramatic, but paralyzing in its own way. It's what happens when your nervous system decides that doing nothing is safer than doing something. And unless you learn to decode it, it can keep you trapped in patterns of avoidance, procrastination, and self-doubt for years. But once you understand what's really happening inside your body and brain, you can start to melt the freeze and turn it into calm, grounded power. Let's start at the beginning. The human stress response has three main modes: fight, flight, and freeze. They're all survival instincts, automatic programs wired into your nervous system to keep you safe. When your brain senses danger, the amygdala sends signals throughout your body to prepare for action. Your heart rate spikes, your muscles tighten, adrenaline floods your bloodstream. If escape feels possible, your system moves into flight. You run, you avoid, you escape. If confrontation feels possible, it shifts into fight. You push back, argue, defend, attack. But if your nervous system senses that neither fighting nor fleeing will guarantee safety, it shuts everything down. It hits pause. That's the freeze. Your mind disconnects. Your body becomes still. You go numb, indecisive, detached. On the outside, it looks like inaction, but on the inside, it's self-protection. In that moment, your body isn't betraying you. It's saving you, the only way it knows how. Imagine a deer caught in headlights. It doesn't run. It doesn't fight. It freezes because its brain has calculated that stillness is the best chance of survival. Humans do the same thing, just in more subtle ways. We freeze in arguments, in career decisions, in creative pursuits, in moments of emotional overload. We freeze when the fear of failing, being judged, or getting hurt feels too big to process. It's not weakness, it's wiring. The problem is that in modern life, most of the dangers that trigger freeze aren't life-threatening, but our nervous system doesn't know that. The brain can't tell the difference between a physical threat and a psychological one. So when you're facing a difficult conversation, a big presentation, a looming deadline, or a painful memory, your system can react as if you're facing a predator. The same physiological chain reaction unfolds. Blood drains from your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making and focus, and floods into your survival centers. Your thoughts scatter. You can't think clearly, not because you're weak, but because your body has literally redirected energy away from logic to defense. That's why in freeze mode, you can't just snap out of it. You're not lazy, you're locked. And this is where most people go wrong. They try to fight the freeze with more force, pushing harder, shaming themselves for not acting, repeating mantras like, "Just do it." But pressure doesn't break the freeze. It reinforces it. Because the moment you judge yourself for being stuck, your brain registers more threat, more danger, and doubles down on stillness. The more you resist the freeze, the deeper it digs in. That's why healing it requires understanding, not aggression. So what's really happening in your body when you freeze? Your parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for rest and digestion, suddenly overrides the fight-or-flight response. It's like slamming the brakes while the gas pedal is still pressed. Your heart rate drops, your muscles lose energy, and your brain floods with endorphins, that numb sensation. It's your body's emergency shutdown, a full-body hold-on command. In trauma psychology, this is called tonic immobility. It's nature's built-in pause button, the body's way of minimizing harm when escape feels impossible. But here's the good news. The same biology that shuts you down can also wake you up. The key to breaking the freeze isn't to push harder, it's to move gently, to reconnect your body and mind one signal at a time. Because the freeze is a disconnection, a split between awareness and action. Your body is in protection mode, but your conscious mind is still trying to live. To bridge that gap, you have to start where the freeze begins, in the body, not the thoughts. When you feel frozen, overwhelmed, paralyzed, or emotionally numb, the first step is to notice it without judgment. Say to yourself, My body feels unsafe right now. That simple acknowledgement is powerful. It tells your nervous system that awareness is present. You're no longer trapped inside the freeze, you're observing it. This activates the prefrontal cortex, slowly bringing logic back online. The second step is movement, but not big, dramatic movement. Start small. Wiggle your fingers, roll your shoulders, take one deep breath, then another. Physical micro-movements tell your body, it's safe to move again. You're giving your nervous system evidence that danger has passed. The third step is grounding, reconnecting with your senses. Look around and name 5 things you see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear. This pulls your attention out of the loop of fear and back into the present. Remember, freeze thrives in disconnection. The more sensory data you feed your brain, the more it realizes, I'm here, I'm safe. Your heartbeat steadies, your muscles release, and your awareness widens. You can think again. You can choose again. And then comes the most transformative step, self-compassion. Most people carry shame around their freeze responses. They call themselves lazy, unmotivated, or broken. But you can't heal what you're judging. The moment you replace shame with compassion, the moment you say, I'm not failing, I'm protecting, your body begins to trust you again. That trust melts the freeze from the inside, because the opposite of fear isn't courage, it's safety. Once your nervous system feels safe, courage naturally follows. Over time, you can start training your body to recognize the difference between actual danger and emotional discomfort. The more you expose yourself gently to small stressors, speaking up in a meeting, setting a boundary, facing a task you've been avoiding, and pair it with calm breathing and presence, the more your nervous system learns that activation doesn't equal threat. This is called resensitization. You're teaching your body that energy, adrenaline, and pressure can exist without collapse. That's how resilience is built, not by avoiding the freeze, but by befriending it until it loses its power. Think of your nervous system like a thermostat. For years, it's been set to shut down whenever things get too intense. You can't fix that by flipping a switch. You recalibrate it gradually through consistency. Every time you face discomfort without numbing, your system adjusts. Every time you act while slightly afraid, your body learns that it's safe to do so. Eventually, the old pattern fades. The freeze loses its grip because your body no longer interprets stress as danger. It interprets it as challenge. And challenge is the birthplace of growth. There's a profound psychological shift that happens once you understand this. You stop seeing your freeze moments as failures and start seeing them as messages. Your body isn't against you, it's communicating. It's saying, I don't feel safe. Your job isn't to yell at it for freezing. Your job is to listen, reassure, and guide it back to safety. That's what emotional regulation really means. Not suppressing feelings, but partnering with them, leading them gently toward balance. You'll start to notice patterns. You'll realize that the same situations that freeze you often trace back to old emotional imprints, times when you felt powerless or trapped. The body remembers what the mind forgets. Those moments taught your system that stillness equals survival. But you're not that powerless person anymore. You can move now. You can choose now. You can rewrite the association between stress and paralysis. Each time you act, however small, you create new neural links, new memories, new trust. Breaking the freeze doesn't mean you'll never feel stuck again. It means you'll recognize it faster. You'll catch it before it spirals. You'll know the language of your nervous system, the shallow breath, the blank mind, the heavy limbs, and you'll have the tools to respond. You'll breathe. You'll move. You'll ground. You'll soothe. And soon, what once felt like shutdown will become a signal for awareness. Instead of collapsing, you'll recalibrate. Instead of freezing, you'll flow. And that's where your real power lies. Not in never feeling fear, but in knowing how to move through it. Because the freeze isn't your enemy, it's an outdated defense. Once you learn to interpret it, it stops being a cage and becomes a compass. It points to the places where safety needs to be restored. It shows you where your growth is waiting. You'll start to trust your body again, not as something that betrays you, but as something that protects and guides you. So the next time you catch yourself shutting down under stress, unable to move, think, or decide, don't panic. Don't attack yourself. Just pause and remember, this is your body doing its job. You don't need to fight it. You just need to bring it back. Breathe. Move. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Let the world back in. Because you're not stuck, you're just paused between fear and action. And once you learn to unfreeze gently, the world opens up again. Your power returns. Your clarity returns. And you realize that you were never broken, only waiting for safety to return so you could move again. That's the truth about the freeze response. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. And when you learn to work with it, it becomes the bridge between survival and freedom.